Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in Bestway's Burrow and met the loporrits who are supposed to escort the people of our world far away from this world after the final days begin, so we don't all die there. But they made some wrong assumptions about how people of Etherys would look like. And act like and everything, and things are a bit awkward right now, but they seem friendly. I think we had our fill of carrots for now. Let's move on to other necessities, shall we? Our clothing production is sure to impress. This way. Do you suppose the clothes we prepared will be as grossly oversized as the carrots? Garments born of the heavens, crafted by methods ancient and forgotten. Dressed befitting we who walk in shade, stewards of the esoteric. It's hardly Sunsilk's tapestries, but perhaps we'll be pleasantly surprised. Here we are, the apparel production station. We have chosen to employ more traditional methods for this task, creation magics. Heidelin, in her infinite wisdom, blessed us with a self-same affinity for her magic her people possessed. We have other amazing talents, of course, and I know you're dying to hear about them, but I will regale you with the details another time. That said, we did run into a spot of trouble at first. Our magic alone was not sufficient to see our work done. In the end, we discovered crystallized ether was a wonderful catalyst that could provide us with the extra vis we needed. My, how resourceful. Ah, the sweet sound of recognition. We will also be impressed to hear we've read all about your habit of changing attire to match your chosen profession. For the sake of efficiency, I presume, this has also been taken into account with our designs. But why take my word for it when you can simply try it on our clothes? Make yourselves known to the workers, and they see to the rest. Okay. Now, how do I get up there? Jumping again. It's you, one of the visitors from Etherys. Goodness me, maybe I wasn't kidding. You really are smaller than the Watcher. Wait, you need to try on a set of clothes, right? What would you have me fashion for you today? An outfit that embodies bloodlust. Embodies what? This will only take a moment. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. There we are, all finished. A perfect fit, if I do say so myself. I would be lying if I said I understand what bloodlust is, but I assume it's something you enjoy. I made certain the clothes are flexible yet sturdy enough to endure whatever it is you plan to do while wearing them. Would you look at that, speechless? and by effort you may not like it. If you have a mind to try something else, why not speak with my fellow artisans? I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. You must continue wearing these garments in order to progress. You will change back to your normal garments if you move too far away. Look at your map. Speak with a restless loporrit to restore or prolong the garment change. No one said you'd be coming. How can I help you? You should try my clothes. Willie! Of course! It would be my honor. Did you have anything in mind? I'm looking for clothes with an altogether different design. I think I can handle it. Let's see. This should do. Some of my best work yet. You're a strange one, aren't you? I honestly wasn't sure what to do when you didn't ask for anything specific. I take my work seriously, however, and I'm never one to disappoint, but ensemble is a blend of concepts from myriad professions, all-purpose attire for the modern woman of Etherys. I was worried how the concept would turn out when put to the proof, but it looks stunning on you. Won't you go and show Livingway? I'm sure she's eager to see what we've come up with. You must continue wearing these garments now. I mean... I like it more than the last one. Not by a lot, but I do. My, don't we look so blended? The result of much try and error, but I know quality work when I see it. Shh, you needn't speak. I see your adoration for the moon and the loporrits in your eyes. No doubt your friends feel the same, having sampled our creations. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Basis we sample all of their concepts ere we returned. Verily, 'tis an ensemble most becoming. I think it's past time we returned these clothes. I was so confident our garments would meet with your approval. Whatever are we doing wrong? Watcher taught us that in his time everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. We thought we could appeal to modern taste by tailoring the robes to specific professions, but... Please, you mustn't be so hard on yourself. Should we resort to evacuating the people of Etherys, we will most certainly have need of your attire. 'Tis clear you spared no effort in addressing our needs, but you must understand that we are not quite so... homogeneous. Speaking for myself, what I wear now better suits my taste, even if it is of inferior make. But there are others whose choices may be influenced by tradition or personal experience. Rather than make assumptions for the whole, you must consider the individual and their potential preferences. I fear we underestimated the complexity and diversity of your people. Even if we memorized every tome we received, I doubt we'd have fared much better. Maybe we're doing you the disservice trying to shower you with our baubles and trickery, thinking it was for your benefit when you'd be better off on your own? There are some who might agree, people who prefer to keep others at arm's length, even when they know they shouldn't. As one such former fool, I'd like to ask you a question. This plan to evacuate and escape the final days, did it account for the reflections of the source as well? No. Not that I'm aware of. We are born of Heidelland's love for Etherys and the salvation of a people on that star, and that star alone has ever been our aim. Surely it's better to devote ourselves to saving one world than to divide our efforts across 14 and risk failing them all? I suppose you're right. Living Way. Might we have leave to explore Bestway's Burrow unattended? You have given us much to think about. Why, certainly! Until later then. If I may, I should like to accompany thee a while longer. Really? I mean, you're more than welcome to. There's actually something I wish to speak with you about. Let's be off then, shall we? My apologies. I wasn't trying to spy or anything. Everyone's been talking about the visitors come from Etherys, and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I was excited at first, but now I'm worried. What if the people of Etherys refuse to come? What if we can't save them? It's clear we made a mess of things. But wait, you still haven't visited the domiciles. Once you see them, you'll understand how wonderful the moon truly is, I'm sure of it. I'll be waiting for you by the teleporter near the entrance. Oh, and the name is Growing Way, by the way. See you soon. You're here. You're really here. Thank you so much. Sorry, what should I call you? Desiree. Desiree, huh? Crikey, even your names are amazing. Well, Desiree, we'll be using this teleporter to enter the residential area. Whenever you're ready.
Ready in the teleporter.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Access to living quarters restricted due to reconstruction. Then where is it? Oh no!
Whoop, and I'm gone. So, if I'm not in the living quarter, where am I?
A private audience, as thou didst request, for reasons I know not.
Just a precaution. I'd rather I didn't have to ask the question at all, but I take my responsibilities very, very seriously. Do you and your friends, by any chance, find our accommodation wanting? Be honest, brutally even.
'Twould be ungracious of me to belittle the efforts of thee and thine.
Lovely sentiment, really. But the disappointment is writ plain on your comrades' faces. It's all the more frustrating since no one will come out and say what they find wanting.
Diversity, I think, is what missing. Diversity.
If there are faults in our work, we need to know. We will do better. But time is not on our side. The final days will wait for no one. If your people are to be saved, we must take quick and decisive action. This vessel must serve as a home for as many passengers as possible, for far longer than we may like. Which brings me to my request. Our collaborators on Etherys are doing what they can to prepare for the voyage. Would you be willing to go and lend them a hand? Having seen the moon for yourself, you could speak to its many splendors, learn what else they might require, and assuage whatever concerns they have.
Wherefore wouldst thou entrust me with such a task?
How to put it? You're the only one who appears not to be wholly unsatisfied with our work. Oh, quite good at pretending that's the case, at least. Calm, collected, tactful to a fault. Very particular with your words, too. You understand that, in the face of great danger, one cannot pursue perfection at the expense of practicality. The difficult choices must often be made for the greater good.
And so fate doth conspire to set my feet upon this path once more.
Come again?
Idle musings. 'Tis no trifle thou dost ask, yet full well do I understand the urgency and necessity.
Oh, dear me! Dear me! I was terribly sorry for the mix-up. It's a bit of a malfunction. I hadn't realized the residential quarters were inaccessible, you see. But you're still in one piece. So, all's well that ends well, yes? Won't happen again. I promise.
Good. It's fine, really. Gosh, that was embarrassing. I promise to be more careful from now on. Since the residential quarters are closed for now, I've rerouted the teleporter to allow travelers between floors instead. Hopefully it proves useful in the meantime. A shame you couldn't see it though. You really would have liked it. You can now travel between the upper and lower floors of Bestway's Burrow via the teleporter. All's Vale that ends well. It may not seem like it, but we've been planning for this far longer than I'd care to admit. Each time we woke up, we'd have long discussions about how to save as many of you as we can. Felt like everyone had an opinion on this and that. But the one thing we all agreed upon was that the people of Etherys wouldn't take action to save themselves until it was far too late. That's why we've striven to make the moon a vibrant, magical place they'd hop at the chance to visit, rather than waiting for the flames of oblivion to get them off their tails and force them to accept our invitation. The residential quarter may not be up to the necessary standards just yet, but there are plenty of other places worth seeing. You've already had a look around the Curatorium, but wait until you see what's waiting for you at the east end of the Burrow. Follow me? Good, you here. the Vistor's greatest ends veil. It is named as such because it's the veil to end all veils, the most beautiful forest you'll ever see. We understand that people of Etherys enjoy taking leisurely walks through natural spaces and the like, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. How about we start with a nice stroll to the fountain? This way. It doesn't look like a forest, but otherwise it looks pretty cool. So, what did you think of a forest? Isn't it positively pleasant? Simply sublime? This is transcendent as burying your face in a chocobo's plumage and taking a good long whiff. That's mean, if you know that a chocobo reeks. I didn't see any... Wait, you don't mean those crystals out there are... Right you are, our forest is made of crystals and constructs, dotting the landscape as far as the eye can see. Building this place was a challenge, let me tell you. Since we are born here, we've never seen trees in person before, let alone a forest. The information sent by our collaborators was quite enlightening, but after much deliberation, we decided to use crystalline constructs in place of living trees. And thanks to our atmospheric circulation system, this place produces air as clean as you'd find in the forest of Etherys. The fountain here behind us, powered by the rather large crystal adorning its top, plays a vital role in supplying us with fresh water. Much time and effort was spent making the most spherical of spheres, and I dare say the unparalleled roundness speaks to itself. I enjoy nothing more than a nice long stretch and a spot of relaxation whenever I come up here. You look like you could do with a stretch yourself. Stretch. That's the spirit. I feel more relaxed simply watching you. Aside to the many years spent building this place. If it's not too much to ask, it's always been a dream of mine to take a walk through this forest with someone from Etherys. Could we maybe... You will? Oh, please, still my quivering whiskers. Growing Ray is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Let's take a pleasant walk with Growing Way. I was thinking, Desiree, that I could be more helpful to you by teaching you a little about the moon and what it is we do. We have first created the moon's sole purpose was to hold Zodiac, and there was absolutely nothing to be found here. Eventually, Heidelin gave us our first task. Furnish the moon with propulsion systems capable of facilitating travel to other stars. It sounds impressive, and I suppose in some respects it is, but it was only possible thanks to all the knowledge Heidelin shared with us. We also had a lot of time to get it done. 6,000 years, give or take. But anyway, let's keep going. Tell me about this thing. What? No! I'm not sure what it is you do with crystals on Etherys. Tasting with crystal? But we don't eat them, certainly not this one. It's possessed of all 6 elements: wind, lightning, fire, ice, earth, and water. We use crystals like these to maintain the moon's elemental equilibrium. It's worth mentioning, though, that because of Hydaelyn's influence, being the embodiment of tranquility and stasis and all, manipulating the elements here is different than it might be on Etherys. A conjuring of fire would sooner dry your clothes than singe them, for example, but put simply, the etheric conditions are ill-suited to growth, which is why the surface is mostly barren. Of course, this is all necessary to keep the raging energies of Zodiac in check. Nothing like a relaxing stroll to forget one's worries, huh? This may come as a surprise, but we didn't begin building the habitable areas until after the propulsion systems were ready. Considering how long it took, I wish we'd started sooner. Who would have thought we'd need 4,000 years to make all this? It certainly wasn't work you dare rush either. We had to create infrastructure and countless supporting systems, some of which wouldn't be operational until hundreds of years later. And then there's a brief period where our productivity came to a screeching halt, when a bizarre red satellite was sent up from Etherys. The Elegance mischief, I think. We thought maybe some new nefarious actor was colluding with Zodiac? All we could do was stand by and brace ourselves for the worst. I can't tell you how relieved we were when Hydaelyn informed us of its destruction. Oh yes, there was much joyous humming that way. Say, do you notice anything peculiar about the treetops? I mean, apart from the fact that they're massive crystals, not trees. I'll give you a hint. It's the golden rings emanating from the glowing spheres. Along with a device fixed near the ceiling, they fulfill a role similar to our sun, and do so better even. The sun and similar celestial objects in the great expanse radiate energy that is harmful to your bodies. These rings shield you from that energy while allowing you to bathe in the perfect amount of sunlight, or rather, a close approximation of it. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? Oh, and if you look closely, you see different types of trees with ever so slightly different curvature. Yes, indeed, this forest truly is the greatest. There's something else I wanted to tell you about. Oh, right! The propulsion systems and habitat facilities were completed around 2,000 years ago, and with that, the most important features were fit for purpose. Which was all well and good, except we still knew absolutely nothing about the present-day people of Etherys. Why not go and visit Etherys yourself, you might ask? Strictly forbidden. Were our technology or knowledge of a moon's true purpose exploited for evil ends, the results could be disastrous. Then there were a few more joinings, and it became increasingly difficult to converse with Hydaelyn. Fearful we might lose the ability to communicate with her altogether, we beseeched her to find people on Etherys we could trust to help. We were quite fortunate everything worked out as it did. You won't catch me. With the exception of routine inspections and maintenance, we remained asleep and waited, hopeful Heidelin would find someone who would help us. Eventually she did, and though her power was waning, we were able to speak with him directly for a short while. We shared with him everything we could, including our knowledge of the heavens and the means to travel to the moon. They certainly didn't waste any time with what we taught them. No more than a few days later, our collaborators found a means to convey messages and supplies to us from down below. With all the letters, the books, and other resources they sent, we learned enough to start making more meaningful changes to the moon. And now you're here, hopefully enjoying yourselves as much as I am. I knew you would like Greatest Ensvale. I knew it. Thank you again for coming here, by the way. I know it was just a walk through a forest, but it meant a lot to me. There you are. I take it you've already received the Grand Tour? A shame we missed it. Growing I've been looking for you. Oh, is this about the teleporter to the residential area? No, never mind that. We have more pressing matters at hand. I will be calling an emergency meeting shortly and your attendance is required. Really? I can't imagine why you need me there, but if you insist. We won't be away long, so you all are more than welcome to continue looking about the Burrow. Now, come along, Gormway. Before we arrived, you seemed to be in the midst of a rousing conversation with your guide. Did you learn anything of import? They've spent 12,000 years preparing for this. With the appointed hour fast approaching, I can certainly understand their restlessness, but still. It remains to be seen if the people can be persuaded to evacuate, and there are yet no signs of the final days. What's more, the technology of this place defies imagination. I doubt there are many who would readily come to terms with living in such surroundings. Whoever these collaborators are, unless they are possessed of the world's most charming personalities, or a means to forcibly evacuate people, they will meet with a great deal of resistance. Indeed, even if faced with annihilation, the decision to forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. Forgive me, friends, but I must beg your leave. There's another matter which yet begs for mine attention. Of course, we can accompany you if you like. Nay, that will not be necessary, if you will excuse me. What do you suppose has suddenly tickled his fancy? 'Tis clear now that difficult decisions lie ahead of us. I mean, considering the end of the world is literally coming. That was always clear, right? Preparations for the evacuation of Etherys is indeed crucial, but I'm not yet willing to forsake our world and its reflections, and I trust I'm not alone in my reticence. Reticence? I don't know how to pronounce that word. The final days will make brave fools of us all. Good. But I think I end the episode here, and next time we continue to look around Bestway's Burrow and everything that's otherwise going on. Apparently we are not all that happy with the loporrits, and they are not happy with us, and there are a lot of problems to be solved first. And perhaps find a way to not abandon our world is also on the table. Just maybe? Okay, until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.